All right, taking a look at some of the top stories that we are following right now on Atlanta News First Plus. A 78-year-old woman has died in a house fire. Really a tragic situation that investigators are looking into right now. This is in northwest Atlanta, and the fire started early this morning. Here's a look at the scene. Our crews capturing the aftermath after that fire. The Atlanta Fire Rescue Department said that crews responded to a burning one-story home on 7th Street Northwest in the Cary Park neighborhood around 12:19 a.m. So in the overnight hours, crews extinguished the flames and they rescued a woman from that home. And she was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, according to the fire department, but she had extensive injuries and unfortunately doctors could not save her. This is according to the fire department, confirming that information for us. Officials have not yet identified the woman, but the victim's family has identified her as 78-year-old Mommy Luke Farley. Investigators are now looking into the cause of this fire, but of course, we're going to keep following the latest developments here on Atlanta News First and Atlanta News First Plus. Also, want to let everyone know about a tuberculosis outbreak. Someone at South Gwinnett High School has actually tested positive for tuberculosis. The district has not said if it's a student or a staff member. We do know that tuberculosis is spread person to person through the air. It impacts the lungs. It is treatable, and you can test for it if you're in that area and you're interested in doing so. Okay, I want to turn now to an ANF investigation. Well, Atlanta News First consumer investigator Better Call Harry, of course, always trying to help you out, but sometimes he occasionally needs help as well. And this time we're talking about something that actually impacted him. For instance, he got a letter that looked like it was from a bank. Turns out it was not. Now he has a warning for you.
I would like to publicly thank my wife for figuring out what this letter was before I did. I got nervous and thought I'd missed a mortgage payment, but it's actually from a home warranty company whose name does not appear anywhere on this document.
Unexpected breakdowns and repairs are a hassle. And with parts and labor costs on the rise, bills can add up fast.
Integrity Admin Group is a home and car warranty company I've never heard of until I received this letter. On the outside of the envelope, it uses time-sensitive wording for the mortgagee only, and it names my bank. An Integrity Admin representative later told me that they got my information through public records. When you open the letter, there's no mention of a home warranty or Integrity Admin, but look at the wording. Final notice, call immediately. Final attempt. Final attempt for what? And what the heck is this allocated waiver at the bottom? It looks like a check for $199 until you read below where it says it's not affiliated with my bank. So I called the number for clarification and received a generic response.
The name of your company is Home Warranty?
Home warranty, yes.
Okay, I will say that's probably one of the most generic names I've ever heard.
It felt like an uncomfortable first date. However, the rep did confirm that Integrity Admin Group was Home Warranty's administrator. The listed address shows a small office suite south of Los Angeles, and she had good news. The $199 waiver I received was a discount if I signed up.
Okay, so no problems with your electricity, plumbing, or any of your appliances, correct?
Nothing. Everything's good to go.
Here's what I want to know. Why not list the name of the company in the letter? This type of marketing is legal in Georgia, but in Connecticut, the Attorney General concluded in 2023 that Integrity Admin Group attempted to lure homeowners into paying for services through misleading, high-pressure mailings. It made the company pay $10,000 and made it stop.
We gave the information to Georgia's Consumer Protection Division, and they will review it. I also called and emailed Integrity Admin Group for a response, and they did not. Here's my takeaway. Take the monthly payments and put them into an emergency fund. I'm Better Call Harry. Atlanta News First investigates.
Also want to let you know about this story, one of our top stories on AtlantaNewsFirst.com at the moment. What we've learned is that a 16-year-old has died after accidentally shooting himself. That's according to DeKalb County Police. It all happened late last night in DeKalb County. Police saying they responded to a person shot off the 4,000 block of Shane Trail in Ellenwood around 10:56 last night. and they reportedly found a 16-year-old boy with a life-threatening gunshot wound at the time. He was rushed to a nearby hospital, but apparently by Sunday morning he had passed away. Doctors were not able to save him, and detectives have now learned this was an accidental shooting. We're going to have much more on this and all of our top stories on Atlanta News First at 11 o'clock on WANF, as well as 10 o'clock on Peachtree TV. Okay, let's turn over to this interesting reunion, definitely a noteworthy one. So a cat that was lost for 11 years has finally been reunited with his owner. Atlanta News First reporter Josh Skinner went to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport to see this reunion after more than a decade and 800 miles later.
At the world's busiest airport, people move and people wait.
It's been 11 and a half years.
Dave Dexter is waiting for an old friend, Rutherford.
I haven't seen him since June of 2013.
But as people look towards arrivals, Dexter looks the opposite way.
In the back of our mind, I think there was an inkling, a fragment of hope that someday we would see him again.
Finding anyone in this mayhem can be tough,
You'll see us when you walk in.
especially if, like Dexter, you flew in from Wisconsin for the reunion.
You get past the South Baggage Claim kiosk.
Eventually, they do
Hey,
find
man.
each other.
Nice to meet you, too.
But Rutherford is not a
Hi,
man,
May.
Rutherford in there.
nor a woman,
Hey, man. How's it going?
but a cat.
Rutherford B. Cat, I think, was his official Christian name.
And the Arbeiter family has driven him here
I can't believe you're here.
from Dillard, Georgia, 11 and a half years and 806 miles from where he disappeared in Oregon, Wisconsin.
He was found on the border of North Carolina in Dillard, Georgia, on the side of the road, laying down on his side, not moving.
Rescued by teenagers and brought back to life by the Arbeiter Veterinary Hospital.
If he had been out there for maybe a day or two more, he was for sure gonna die.
Not only did he survive,
How could this possibly happen?
he now has a chance at a meowy Christmas.
It might very well be his first Christmas.
With a new name
Call him Rutherford B. Strays.
and a much shorter trip back to a warm home.
What else can you do but just feel good for the guy? He made it home 11 years later.
At Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, Meowshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
All right, let's turn now to look at the forecast with First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. Looking live outside, you see the lights, which is beautiful, but it just looks very hazy. I mean, it just is like that kind of, it's just that wet cold. It's not extremely cold, but it feels like it because of the moisture.
We'll call it drizzleable.
I like that.
You like that? Good description. Yeah, guys, we do have some drizzle, some fog out there, and that unfortunately looks like it's going to continue tonight into tomorrow morning. Maybe not a total, fog setup to where you're, can't see your hand in front of your face. However, the setup is there for at least some patchy fog on through tonight and into tomorrow morning. I want to thank you for tuning in and for watching. We're going to get our graphics opened, switched around, and everything reoriented here as we shift from the latest news headlines with Joy Lim Nakrin over to the First Alert forecast. So just bear with me just a moment, and we will get everything switched around and ready to go for you. Again, thank you for tuning in and for watching. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here with a check of the First Alert forecast and a reminder, if you do have any whether questions, comments, concerns, couple places where we can chat, and that is going to be at Atlanta News First, the YouTube account. So on YouTube, just one of many places that we are streaming right now. Also, you can reach out on via text. Just text 470-777-WANF. That is 470-777-9263. And even if you don't get your text until after the conclusion of the stream, we can still type back, give you that answer back. Maybe you just have fog photos you want to share. Kind of pretty in the city of Atlanta with some of the fog, the lower visibility, and those low clouds kind of illuminating some of our gorgeous buildings in Midtown and downtown Atlanta. Current visibility fog obviously is developing, and it will continue to develop as we go through the evening hours, so just keep that in mind. Some lower visibility out there, and we could see fog become dense in spots, especially as we get, past 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and that'll lead into the tomorrow morning's commute. Now, Just checking in once again with the National Weather Service office down in Peachtree City, forecasting for the vast majority of North Georgia. And no dense fog advisories in effect just yet, though I would not be too surprised if they went ahead and pulled the trigger on a dense fog advisory tonight into tomorrow morning. Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta International Airport, visibility already down to 1.5 miles. 2-mile visibility in Carrollton, 8-mile visibility in Athens. So it's not everyone that's seeing the fog. We're all seeing the clouds and at least a little bit of patchy drizzle. But right now, fog really starting to develop across the core of the city. And I think that trend will continue. So just a heads up, be aware, could be some dense fog out the door in the morning, especially if you're an early commuter. Here's that hour-by-hour forecast. So you were just looking at current visibility. This is forecast visibility, and again, model running just a little bit behind schedule with some of these. Already down, as I mentioned, to 1.5 miles in Atlanta, forecasting 9-mile visibility as we go through, the rest of the 8 o'clock hour. So it's running a little bit behind, but even this particular model wants to develop some dense fog, especially the south side, tomorrow morning, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, south side of Atlanta, down towards Fayette County, Fayetteville, Peachtree City, LaGrange, Troup County, very low visibility possibility. Heard County, Griffin, Pike, and Spalding counties, even Lamar, Upson counties, Butts County, over towards Eatonton, Putnam County, Lake Sinclair, and Oconee. Could be some low visibility, but notice by 9, 10 a.m. it's out of here, and of course as we get into the afternoon, not only are we going to lose the fog, but we are going to break out into more sunshine across North Georgia and metro Atlanta. So it's not an all-day gloom like what we had today. It's not going to be an all-day issue, but out the door in the morning, probably some low clouds, some fog, and may not be the prettiest of starts to the day, but then that will change. One plus with the clouds in the current setup, the same setup that is giving us, all the gloom, is keeping temperatures warmer than they should be for this time of year. Average low is 39, going for a low of 45 or so in Atlanta tomorrow morning. Right now, temperature about 45. We may squeeze a degree or two out of this setup, maybe able to actually warm up 1 or 2 degrees going into the morning. And we fine-tuning that forecast. We'll look at some of the newer data coming in, keeping you updated on air and online. High temperatures tomorrow. It is going to be a warmer day than today. Average high is 56. We're not only going to get to that, but we'll get past that. Initially, a lot of clouds in the morning. Clouds breaking away, giving way to more sunshine. So in general, parts of the day will be cloudy, mostly cloudy, but I think sunny, partly cloudy as we get into the heart of the afternoon and, leading into sunset. High temperature in Atlanta tomorrow, 63, 65 in LaGrange, 63 in Thomaston, 62 in Carrollton, and 63 in Eatonton. Mid to upper 50s where the clouds linger a little bit longer and the wedge is a little bit more in play. So just to keep that in mind, it will be a little cooler up in the mountains, not necessarily tomorrow morning, but going into tomorrow afternoon. Here is the hour-by-hour forecast for your Monday, kind of showing the process, everything that we just talked about. The day begins gloomy again, going through the overnight hours. The drizzle kind of eases away and moves out. But by early tomorrow morning, 6, 7, 8 a.m., we do have, this is another forecast model, but showing a very similar setup. And that is this fog developing across the metro, these low clouds and kind of white and gray, especially around the metro. These are low clouds and fog. Up in the mountains, not as much of a fog setup, but certainly some low clouds. But watch what happens as we warm things up and we get just a little bit warmer. Notice how fog and clouds are really gone by 5 p.m. So late afternoon, early evening, just before sunset, we're going to break out of the clouds into more sunshine. That'll help push temperatures back into the lower 60s in Atlanta, mid to upper 50s for North Metro and mountains. And no matter where you're streaming from this evening, though, in North Georgia, warmer tomorrow compared to today. Today we're stuck in the 40s all day long. Tomorrow, 50s and 60s for many of us. Looking ahead to the rest of the work week, some changes on the way and some changes from the forecast since we last streamed yesterday evening at 8 p.m. You probably caught the stream or the newscast this morning with First Alert Meteorologist Cutter, shifting around some things as some new data is coming in, picture becoming just a little bit more clear, though there is certainly still some uncertainty in the forecast, so please do keep that in mind that we have 2 First Alert weather days, but not yet is it chiseled in stone. Wednesday, a chance, not a guarantee. Not even a probability, but a chance of showers and thunderstorms, something that we're watching Wednesday afternoon and evening for the plans and the commute. And because we're watching it, you should keep an eye on it too. That's all that First Alert Weather Day is this go around. Flagging Wednesday is a day to keep an eye on, especially if you do have afternoon or evening plans across North Georgia, Metro Atlanta. That same front is going to bring cooler air in, so by Thursday we're feeling the cooler air, but a more significant plunge of cold, and certainly the need for adjusting the wardrobe back in play for Saturday. Kind of the next day to watch, just the day with a change in the weather in that case, which is why we've given it, designated it that first alert weather day. So here is all of that information. I know we've been chatting, throwing a lot of information your way, both with today, tonight the fog, Wednesday the rain chance, and then Saturday the plunge towards colder weather. Here is all of that in the first alert 7-day forecast. Notice we are 70 Tuesday, 72 Wednesday, 40% chance of rain and thunder, mainly northwest metro, northwest Georgia, far north Georgia mountains, northeast Alabama, and Tennessee. Looking like we're going to get a cluster of rain moving in or developing and moving in, and then weakening very quickly as it moves into North Georgia and metro Atlanta. Still, though, a day to keep an eye on. Risk of severe weather, we had that question on our 4:30 Atlanta News First Plus stream. Very, very low. Not really much of a highlight for severe storms, but something we'll be keeping an eye on, and if needed, we'll adjust. Heading into Thursday, we're waking up to 40s, afternoon staying in the 50s with wind. So it's going to be, 10, 15 degrees colder Thursday afternoon than Wednesday afternoon with the breeze, making it feel even chillier and chillier than that even on Friday, but lots of sun. And then Saturday, a second plunge of cold air really moves in. This one is not accompanied by much in the way of rain. It's simply just a temperature change, and a pretty significant one at that, with high temperatures likely staying in the 40s Saturday and Sunday, and some data is colder than that. We're kind of, leaning towards the most likely scenario, which is something in the mid to upper 40s kind of range, but some data coming in a little bit colder, so we'll be fine-tuning that forecast if needed. Regardless, though, a series of widespread freezes looking pretty probable here, especially outside of the core of the city as we get into this weekend and then early the following week, the days leading up to Christmas. But it does look like the coldest of the weather will be kind of shifting out of North Georgia, kind of moderating out, warming back up, kind of on the other end of the cold snap, coming out of the cold snap, I should say, as we get into the Christmas holiday, the 25th. So probably seasonably cool, but not as chilly as it was, the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, the days leading up to the Christmas holiday. Doesn't look like we have any questions, comments. We had some viewers, we had some likes, so folks are getting the forecast, but hopefully that was clear enough for you. Want to remind you, if you do have any weather questions, comments, concerns, you can always reach out to me on social media. Again, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. If this was your first time watching ANF+, thanks for tuning in and for watching. I'm going to join Joylem Nakrin tonight at 10 p.m. on Peachtree TV. That's Atlanta CW with our 10 o'clock newscast, and then Atlanta News First over on WANF right after that. And we will continue to keep you updated as well online, atlantanewsfirst.com, and with updates in the First Alert weather app. Going to go ahead and leave you with a pretty but kind of spooky look at Midtown Atlanta. Fog, clouds, drizzle, chilly, cold evening, no matter where you are, somewhere between chilly and cold, depending on your exact, vulnerability to the chill. So stay warm, stay dry, improving weather tomorrow.